Okay, we'll admit, we may be a little late to the game. We've been shooting with DSLRs for a long time. Even through all of that mirrorless hype, we stayed pretty persistent. But after we lost the camera to Hurricane Ida in 2021, we talked a bit and finally decided to buy ourselves a Canon EOS R6. After shooting on it for a few months, we learned that switching to mirrorless wasn't as scary as we thought it would be. For a long time, our go-to camera was this 5D Mark IV. It's the perfect camera for what we do and has a ton of features that we love. Luckily for us, the R6 came with all those features plus more. Like the 5D, the R6 is a full-frame camera, which is an essential feature to have for what we do. A bigger picture equals more room to compose and more detail to all of our shots, and it helps for editing too. Since we're working with a wider composition, we have more room to straighten our shots, and the added detail helps us to not lose too much quality when we need to crop in a little bit. One reason you might be debating the switch is because, well, let's face it, new lenses are not cheap. Luckily, we found ourselves an inexpensive adapter that is perfect for putting our old lenses on the R6. We managed to get 1 or 2 lenses that are compatible with the R6, but thanks to the adapter, there's no rush to replace all of those lenses. And speaking of making less purchases, batteries are not cheap. Every photographer knows that you need to have plenty of batteries just in case you need a backup. Thankfully, we didn't need to buy a bunch of new batteries when we bought the R6 because it uses the exact same type as the 5D. As an added bonus, the R6 comes with its own, so I guess buying a whole new camera is great if you needed 1 extra battery. We shoot a lot of weddings, and it's important for us to stay stealthy during ceremonies. That's why we relied on silent shooting mode on the 5D Mark IV. Well, with the R6, that mode is still available to us, along with the ability to shoot even faster when silenced. But that's not the only feature the R6 has over the 5D. I mean, come on, who doesn't love new stuff? With the R6 being released 4 years after the 5D Mark IV, this thing is bound to be chock full of new goodies. Starting simple, the R6 is a lighter hold than the 5D. When it comes to buying new cameras, weight isn't really what you think about before you switch, but when you're carrying around a bulky DSLR for a shoot, you start to appreciate the lighter camera just a little bit more. Just trust us when we say this is definitely a feature. There are 2 types of photographers, those who prefer the versatility of shooting in live view, and those who like the traditional feel of capturing photos from the viewfinder. If you find yourself going with the viewfinder option, you just got an upgrade. Without the need for a mirror, the viewfinder now includes a fully digital screen that mimics the screen on the back of your camera. Now you can see the exposure of your shots in real time while looking through the viewfinder. Welcome to the future. If you do prefer live view, like me, don't worry, there's something for you too. This next feature isn't necessarily new or exclusive to just mirrorless cameras, but it is new to us. The R6 gives us the ability to utilize a flip-out screen, which is something we weren't able to do with the 5D Mark IV. This means it's easier to shoot from a different angle if we need to, or if we're just feeling a bit more experimental. It also can come in handy if we're shooting video. Now, the autofocus on the R6 is a complete game changer when compared to the 5D. The 5D Mark IV has 61 points where it can detect focus in your image, which may seem like a lot, but the R6 has over 1,000. We also chose to program 2 autofocus buttons on the back of our R6, one that focuses on whatever point we've selected, and one that lets the camera auto-detect our subject, both of which are incredibly useful. And because the touchscreen on the back is more reactive than the 5Ds, selecting autofocus points on the screen is much smoother. We could list off features we love about the R6 all day, but for now, I think you get the point. Although it took some time for us to decide, buying a mirrorless camera is a decision we certainly don't regret. We hope this video helped you decide if mirrorless is right for you. Leave a comment if you'd like to see us talk about anything else on our channel, and don't forget to subscribe to get notified for any future videos. Until next time.